Hi, I'm Robert, and today I'm going to show you how we take this image from here to here, all in Lightroom. In this video, I'm going to use the brush tool to add layers of light to this image. Let's get started at the bottom like we usually do. Make sure you're on the current version. We're going to skip the vignetting. Let's double check to make sure this image is straight. Click on Constrain Crop, zoom in, and let's bring up the grid lines. Look straight to me. Let's move on up. Click on Remove Chromatic Aberrations and also Enable Profile Corrections. I shot this with the Canon 40D with the Tokina 11-16 version 1. I was using a 3-stop hard edge neutral density filter. As you can see, it had a very strong magenta cast on it. I no longer use hard edge graduated neutral density filters. I only use soft edge graduated neutral density filters now. If you're using a hard edge and you have a rock coming through the horizon, it's going to darken the area that's above the horizon. Also, the problem with hard edge filters is if you have it slightly crooked and not perfectly level on the horizon, it will show up since you're going to see the darker exposures that go past the horizon line. So it's much easier just to use a soft edge filter. I use the 3-stop soft edge for all of my images. Go up to sharpening. We'll do our standard sharpening routine, 100 of sharpening, and then we'll apply a mask. Hold down the Alt key to bring up the mask. And let's sharpen the rocks, but not the sky. Right about there. I'm going to start this image off by going to Profile, and I'm going to choose Camera Matching and Landscape. You can see it adds more color and contrast to this image and gets us a good starting point. So let's close that, and let's cool down this image because it's quite warm. That's a good starting color. As usual, let's bring down our highlights, bring up the shadows, and set our white point. I'm looking at the histogram up here on the top right. I'm going to move the white slider over until we start clipping. Once we start clipping, back it down. We're going to do the same thing for the black slider. So now our base exposure and base contrast is set. I'd like to add a little bit more contrast to this image, so we'll use the contrast slider and bring it up just a little bit. So you can see up here at our histogram, we're all the way to the right and to the left, so you know we have a good exposure. If your histogram is too far to the left, but your image still looks bright and you go to print it, it's going to turn out dark. You need to make sure your histogram is all the way over, or else you're going to have a dark print. The goal with all of my images is to have it print ready. You never know when somebody's going to be emailing you, asking you about that image for a print or possibly online licensing. I license a lot of my images out to websites. It's a great way to make money. It's super easy and quick. All of my images are already ready to go, so I just find them and send them out. I like how the colors look already, so we're not going to adjust any of the color panel here. We're just going to get straight into the brush work. Let's grab a new brush, press O to turn on our overlay, and let's select this front rock. We have auto mask turned on, but we have a little bit of spillage, so press Alt. It'll turn your brush into an eraser. Let's erase that area that we spilt over. Press O to turn off the overlay. You can double click up here on Effect to reset all of our tools. The goal with this image is to add layers of light and brightness. So I'm going to have the brightest area in the front, medium, a little bit darker, and then we'll have all of our color in the background. So let's brighten this image up, or this rock up. Let's also add some texture to bring it out, and a little bit of saturation. So that'll be our brightest rock. Next, let's go to our medium brightness rock. Select a new brush. Let's press O to turn on the overlay, and let's brush in these rocks. That looks good. We got a little bit of spill right here, so turn your brush into an eraser using Alt and remove that. Press O to remove our overlay, reset the settings, and let's brighten it up a little bit. The other rock we brought up to 0.7. This one we're just going to bring up to 0.2. It already has a lot of texture and contrast, so we're just going to bring the saturation up a little bit. Let's grab a new brush and work on this rock back here. Using the auto mask feature makes it very easy to select everything. Turn off our overlay, reset, and let's bring up the exposure a little bit. Just enough so we can see some details in it. Let's close our brush. So now we have 3 different brightnesses of rocks, the brightest, medium, and then the darkest. Let's grab this spot removal tool, turn off this for now, and zoom in down here. Let's get rid of this little flare. The lens I was using had a flaring issue, and it was even worse when I was using filters on top. So this was a common problem I used to have to deal with. Now I use a Nikon Z6 with the 1424 and high quality glass filters, so I don't have this issue anymore. We'll just select the area. I think that was a little too big. Let's delete that. Let me bring the size down. Let's find a good match. Maybe right there. Press enter. Good enough. Let's fit. And now let's check to see if there's any dust in the sky. So bring back our spot removal tool. Click on visualize spots. If you don't have this toolbar, just press T. T for toolbar. You can adjust the slider, but I have it mostly towards the right so we can visualize any dust that's in the sky. We have a few pieces, so let's take care of that. These are hardly noticeable, but if you're going to make a print or you're sending this off to a client, you might as well clean it up. And I do it for all my images while I'm doing the edit, so I don't have to think about it and go back and take care of it later. Once I'm done editing my image, I don't need to worry about it. If somebody wants to buy it or license it, I know the image is ready to go. So we removed all of the dust. Let's close our tool. And that's our final image. That was a really quick and easy edit. Most of our color came from the color cast caused by our filter. The color might look a little overdone, but I like how it looks in this image. There was almost no clouds in the sky, and it was a pretty boring sunset, so we were able to get some color out of the sky using the filters. I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.